Listen close as I unfold a story about a kid and delve deep inside of the torturous life he lived. A lot of pain, a lot of torment that tore him inside to bits. This boy was called Daniel, the story I write is his. 18 months old, he was abandoned as a baby. His dad was in the army and his mum was acting crazy. She left him all alone, so his auntie came to save him. She took him away from his grandparents to raise him. At weekends he was off to the other side of the family. Different grandparents, different life, he wanted Daniel in. This granddad was a magistrate who liked giving to charity, but there was something dark about this guy and his character. Daniel was only 5 when he made his first move. He put him in the bath when he stayed for a day or two. Started playing with his privates and telling him what to do, but Daniel didn't have a clue that this was sexual abuse. This was going on for years, always the same situation. Tell Daniel it was bedtime and enter the room naked. Playing with himself, he'd stand there while masturbating with no one else around, so Daniel just had to face it. One day he couldn't take it, so he ran to a safe place. Locked the door behind him so his granddad couldn't chase. The old man realised that Daniel had finally aged. He was 10 years old, so never tried it again. But nothing was ever mentioned about anything that he'd done. He just bought Daniel stuff and hoped that he'd keep stum. See, he was a clever man, he just groomed it like a brush. So Daniel held it in, but inside he was truly crushed. He started going off the rails just like a flyaway train. A lost young man who was trying to find his way, putting smiles on his face just to hide away the pain. But no one ever asked what he felt inside his brain. All he ever saw was just a juvenile delinquent, a naughty young kid who was a nuisance since an infant, causing trouble in school, so they'd move him in an instant like he was the bad guy. But the truth is he was the victim, but he never told a soul. Now he never gave a reason, cause even if he did, would they ever even believe him? He found out about drugs from a class that they were teaching. He was only 15 and he thought they looked appealing. He was making new friends, but he also made some enemies. Hanging with a girl, but a fella was feeling jealousy. Said he'd hurt Daniel, but he didn't just want to leather him. He wanted to stab, cause he weren't right in the head a bit, ready to make his move when Daniel was all alone. Walking back from school, but Daniel wasn't to know. But another guy did, so he offered a lift home. He made him feel safe, so they got him remain close. The guy was a local dealer, got Daniel on smoking hash. But as the time passed, he progressed into coke and smack. Now Daniel was an addict, 16, no going back. So he dropped out of school as a fiend on a hopeless path. He stayed over at his house, hooked on the drugs he sold, dependent on this guy and stuck underneath his hold. He passed out from the dope, but suffering when he woke, cause he found some photos of himself without any clothes. The guy was another predator and Daniel had been abused. Once again it messed his head up and left him a bit confused. So he managed to escape, but the damage couldn't be removed, cause he couldn't escape drugs, so his only plan was to use. He started committing crime just to feed his addiction, visiting probation after police would convict him. In and out of rehab trying to beat his condition, but he couldn't seem to leave him, he was feeling in prison. Daniel was now a man, but his head was ready to crack. The gates opened up and the memories flooded back. He went to see his granddad with many questions to ask, but he told him when he got there he was dead and already passed. Another setback, so his head was ready to snap. A chance to get some answers, now he'd never get to ask. He went back to the drugs and got heavier on the smack, so he went to seek help before death came to attack. He got a drugs worker who actually sat him down, talked about his problems and that's what they were about. He too had been abused, told Daniel the ins and outs. So for the first time ever, Daniel told his accounts like a weight off his shoulders. And his first taste of guidance, realised he weren't alone, helped him finally break his silence. He reported the abuse back from when he was a minor, but nobody seemed to believe, they just cast him as a liar. The police dropped the case after speaking to the school, just because he was a terror they didn't believe it to be true. Even his uncle lied when the police interviewed. He said it was never mentioned, yo, even though he knew. Eventually he found out that even his mother did, but he believed she was paid to keep it under the lid. But she mustn't have really cared even to leave him as a kid. See, Daniel was just betrayed, but at least he didn't give in. So he made it his mission to help guys who'd been abused. So he started Shatter Boys to help lives to be renewed. See, Daniel's is a story how to fight and never lose, cause the abusers only win when you hide